Hey there, I'm Ken. This is Canadian Retro Things. Welcome. It is time to take a look at what I picked up at VCF Midwest. So I recently got back from VCF Midwest. And I also recently got back from my cabin because I traveled to Chicago for VCF Midwest from my cabin because it's a lot closer. Anyway, while I was at VCF Midwest, I picked up a bunch of stuff. So I thought, well, let's take a look at what I got. We'll take a look at a little bit of the trip there and a little bit of the fun that I had while I was there. But mostly, we're going to look at what I picked up. So, I guess there's no better place to start than the beginning. It is Friday. It is 5:30 a.m. and I am about to start my 13-hour drive to VCF Midwest. This is early. Once leaving my cabin, I drove for a few hours until I reached the border crossing just south of Thunder Bay. Crossing the border, I met a border guard that was very interested in the fact that people still had Commodore 64s, as that was the computer he always wanted. So, we talked old computers for a couple of minutes.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Once across the border, it started raining. A lot. And then it rained some more, making for a very slow drive through northern Minnesota.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
Many long hours later, it finally cleared up, and Google had me driving back highways to avoid tolls as I got closer to Chicago. I saw a lot of corn. Finally, after I was 15 hours into my 13-hour drive, I arrived at VCF Midwest. There are many videos out there looking closely at many of the displays, so I'll just show some shots from videos that I took. Okay, you got me. The truth is I was having so much fun at my first VCF Midwest that mostly I didn't even think about shooting videos. I saw a lot of people that I already knew, and met a lot of people that, well, I didn't know. A couple of the highlights were having a few beers with Ben Heck. Here he is, singing with Taylor and Amy of the Taylor and Amy Show.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Kiev to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered fisher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me where in the world is steel? They're sold in South Korea, make Antarctica cry uncle. From the Red Sea to Greenland, they'll be singing the blues. Well, she never Arkansas her steal them.
I also had a few drinks with Adrian Black of Adrian's Digital Basement. I did get a shot of him playing the Fairchild Model F with Taylor and Amy.
Oh! Which one kills? Mutual suicide. Nice. Oh!
Okay, I'm like catching up a little bit here.
Oh no!
Everyone that I met at the show was awesome, and I had a great time. I can't wait till next year to do it all again. But Monday morning arrived, and I was on my way home. I saw a lot more corn as I drove the back highways out of Chicago. Just as a side note, Google again took me on some incredibly stupid routes, just like my return trip from Cocoa Fest. Twice, it had me leave the freeway to a back road, go through 4 or 5 stop signs, joining other roads, and then rejoin the freeway I was just on about a mile after I left it. This, according to Google, was the most fuel-efficient route. 10 minutes to go 1 mile while stopping and starting 5 times is not more efficient than going 1 mile on cruise control at 70 miles an hour. After many more hours of driving, I finally made it back to Canada, where I met a border guard who fondly remembered his first games on the Commodore PET. It wasn't busy, so we chatted for about 15 minutes about old computers and old games. Then it was back to my cabin to pack up for the trip across Canada to get home, where I could finally unpack all the goodies I picked up at VCF Midwest. And here, piled up on the table, is everything I picked up at VCF Midwest. Let's take a few things off so that we can look at everything a little bit closer. Okay, so I have switched to a nice little overhead shot of some discs that I picked up. This first top one, now I did pick these up because I like the containers they came in. So this first one is all 3.5-inch discs. Various games. There's over 50 discs in here. And it looks like some of them are blank, but most of them look like they are Amiga games. That means that I now have over, I don't know, about 150 discs of Amiga games. I guess I gotta see if I can ever find myself an Amiga to play these on, or even see if they work. And under it, I have another one, and I did buy that one. This one I found on the free pile, and it is full of more 3.5-inch discs. These are all Macintosh games. And here we have some 5.25-inch discs. Not sure. I think these are Commodore 64 discs. And here we have a nice little hard case of 5.25-inch discs. And let's see, what are these ones? These look like more Commodore 64 discs. These ones look like they are more actual software discs rather than blank ones. There we go. Oh, there's a few games in here. Gunship, Battle Chess, Tetris, Mule, Lords of Conquest. So yes, I will have to check those out on my Commodore 64. Also, another nice case. And here we have some more purchased as well as free stuff. Purchased here an Easy Flash cartridge for my Commodore 64. This one is a SCART cable for my Apple IIgs. So then I'll be able to use my Apple IIgs with HDMI. That was purchased from Cocoman. Off the free pile, I picked up a Apple II copy of Win, Lose, or Draw. Swift Calc. Picked that up, I think, on the free pile for the Commodore 64. And here I have a cassette pack, 6 cassettes for the VIC-20. One thing that I liked about it is originally $26.94 from Kmart. If you look on the end, marked down to $20. Now, these are not games. They're like a loan management calculator, expense calculator, home inventory, so they might be interesting to look at, though. Another one that I got off of the free pile was the Home Accountant for the Apple II. Could be an interesting productivity software to look at. And I purchased here the keyboard attachment for the music machine for the Commodore 64. And it also comes with the cartridge and discs. So looking forward to trying that out. Then I also picked up an Introduction to Basic Part 1 for the VIC-20, as well as an Introduction to Basic Part 1 for the Commodore 64. So I can take a look at both of these and compare them. These are both cassette-based programs. So the cassettes are in there, plus an instruction manual. It's a whole, almost a course for learning BASIC. So those will be interesting to look at. One other thing that I almost forgot to mention that I bought at VCF is a new game for the Tandy Color Computer 1, 2, or 3, and it is Robot Nightmare. Now, it is time to take a look at the hardware that I got, and it's all Atari. Now this is a portable Atari flashback game system. It was actually donated to the channel by Sloopy Malibu, so thanks a lot for that. The only problem with it, he said, is that the battery compartment is burnt out, so it has to be plugged in to power to use. But he also included an SD card with all the Atari 2600 games on it. I've tried it out. Works great. A lot of fun. And here we have an Atari 850 interface module. So this has 4 serial interface ports on the back, 1 parallel interface port on the side, and 2 I/O ports on the front, so you can hook a whole lot of things up to an Atari computer at once. Here I have an Atari 1050 disk drive, so I can, play some disc stuff if I find some. I don't have any Atari disc stuff right now, but now I have a reason to get some. And here is an Atari 1010 tape drive. It's in the box here, so looks just like that. So, there. And under that, an Atari 800. And with that Atari 800 is the basic language cart. That was a pretty good little haul of things that I picked up at VCF. And I also had a great time meeting the people that I met. And I had a great time just cutting loose for the weekend. So a lot of the things that I picked up there are going to be in some future videos, so watch for those coming. I hope you enjoyed this little video of seeing my little trip that I took there. If you did, you know what you can do with the liking, the subscribing, and the commenting below, because anything and everything you do is always greatly appreciated. See you next time.